What's up, everybody? It's Supersmallchibiwolf here, and today I'm going to be talking about Akira Toriyama, the wonderful creator behind Dragon Ball. So, um, you know, the first thing I want to say is, before getting all our fun time talking, is, I just think it's a little weird because 68 just seems very young, you know what I mean? I know, family members, friends older than 60 and they're still running or just going, construction and all, you know what I mean? That's a lot of work. So they're still going. And it's interesting. It's like, hmm, 68. So when I think about the age of 68, it just seems so, I wouldn't say like, very young, like 20s, like what I currently am in, but it's like, oh, hmm, it just makes me think. And uh, long story short, hearing stories and news of many people passing is just kind of weird. I'm not sure, but yeah, moving on from that, it's just something I noticed. But yeah, growing up, Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Sailor Moon, Yu-Gi-Oh, just so many cool and wonderful animes. A little later on, I'm seeing, things of Dr. Slump and stuff, and I enjoyed that. I loved those like were like the cool ones when it comes down to like anime and manga and stuff. So um, when seeing all these wonderful works, really cool. You know, I love the interesting and wonderful worlds created by Akira Toriyama. For example, in Dragon Ball, I remember, you got dinosaurs roaming around. You have advanced technology mixed with this um, Jurassic, world coming together, like futuristic in the past coming together, mixed in a unique way, mixed with fantasy. That's one of the just wonders of Akira Toriyama. And then, of course, you have like legends like Goku. He's basically like the poster dude of shonen modern shonen anime. Like, look, this is it. Like this is the guy. When you think about shonen anime, Goku. He's the man. So yeah, just like for example, I would compare it to like, in gaming. Yes, there's a lot of amazing characters, but Super Mario, he's like the one. Like that's Goku. That's what Goku always been. When I think about, anime manga, it's just like wow. You know, you now don't get me wrong. There's many amazing characters, but yeah, man, I just enjoyed that. And I've always enjoyed, back to what I was saying with the unique worlds, the art style as well of Akira Toriyama. It's unique, whether you see, whether it's in games like Chrono Trigger, whether it's in animes like Dr. Slump. It's really just, it's wonderful. He created his own unique art style, to represent his work. And doesn't matter, sometimes you think, hmm, yeah, this looks made this work. Oh, it's this guy. It's this guy. For sure when you look at a work, you could be like, yeah, that's Akira Toriyama. Just right away, you could tell due to the art style. You know, and that's amazing. You know, don't get me wrong. Many creators, they have their own art styles, and it's amazing. It's cool. It doesn't matter what type of game and etc. Art styles. Um, but when it comes down to Akira Toriyama, he's like just one of them that just it just stands out so much, and that's so cool. That's one of my favorite things about him is when people create something really unique and just make it their own. You know. Now even outside of like Dragon Ball, like I said, Doctor Slump, Wale. I remember in one episode of the original Dragon Ball, where Wale and Goku meet. That was a funny moment. That was one of my favorites. And yeah, man, I love when creators have like say mixing their characters, their franchises, and be like, yo, here's a new friend for you to meet. Boom. Yeah, it's like if Link goes to visit Mario in the Mushroom Kingdom or something. One thing that was so amazing is that Akira Toriyama didn't just create. There are many reasons why Akira Toriyama's work is so perfect, and not just art style wise, but creation as well, writing process and other things. Besides Dragon Ball and Dr. Slump, he has worked on, and along with other amazing creators such as Final Fantasy creator, hey, he has created Chrono Trigger. Now, this is wonderful. I enjoyed that. He expanded. He wasn't just focused on his own work. He was, along with other wonderful creators, and came together to create Chrono Trigger. He helped do it with other works as well. You know what I mean? He gave his artistic talent to other works as well, and I think it's really fantastic. Works such as Dragon Quest, and I think it's very fantastic. This is just wow. I love when that he did this. You know, you see, for example, you see like the many what to me is kind of like what ifs in a way. Like, hey, yo, this could have been, Chrono's design could have been in Dragon Ball. You never know. You know what I mean? Like a friend of Goku or something. So that's like a what if, if he didn't expand his horizon of works and working with other people. But I'm happy he did. Now that we got, we have this wonderful game and wonderful art style and just wonderful, artistic talents shown and represented for many to enjoy years to come. And I loved growing up. I loved doing art. Whether it's Pokemon, whether it's I did some Sailor Moon, I did some Dragon Ball, of course. And Dragon Ball was my favorite. I enjoyed that. I remember drawing like some of the Videl and, Gohan, they were cool. And Kid Goku, really wonderful. And, oh man, it's just wonderful. I remember like growing up, I had friends, a lot of people were into Dragon Ball, and we would just like talk about what ifs and at times voices, like who will win in the fight and imagine, just martial arts and different things, you know what I mean? And it always was like, you know, fighting games and Dragon Ball and, martial arts. And then we just talk about many wonderful things relating to all of that stuff. And that was just so good, Whether it's hearing about them playing the games and me watching the anime, we all did different things, you know what I mean? Reading the manga and etc. I remember a few years ago, I even got into the card collecting game of Dragon Ball, and I remember the first, I, I only got like one pack, and the first package was such a what was it? It was a holographic. I believe it was Goku, and I still remember that. It was really cool. It was one of my favorites. I believe it was him, and overall, I think I enjoy that. I enjoy when many creators expand. Like I said, you got the cards, you got the manga, you got the movies, you got the games, and even though you know many love them and some are kind of better than others, I personally love, like, for example, when I think about Dragon Ball games, one that really stands out in the modern day is Dragon Ball Fighter Z. That one is oh, I love it. It's perfect. You know what I mean? It's really wonderful and fantastic. It's my favorite modernized fighting game when it comes down to anime fighting games. It's just everything about it. You got the fan beloved characters. You got everything. The stages. You have the movements and the combo system is just so beautiful. You know what I mean? And I love that about it. So that's another thing that I want to talk about. So I would say I enjoy listening to different news and articles and different um channels and things relating like politics and other stuff. You know, I don't do that, but I enjoy listening to that. I like to do more fun and stuff like. So yeah, but one thing I hear a lot on those serious channels is that a lot of tragedies such as this one is happening in different industries relating to the entertainment industry, and it's happened a lot of people dying rapidly recently, and um, I don't know. That's just something that I remember hearing a lot recently, and even from what other people tell me, and I don't know. That's just something that I just wanted to bring up because it, I don't know. It's just something that because many times, don't get me wrong, I know about their works, but didn't know that much about, you know, what's going on, like who, what are the things they created, and you know what I mean. I just know maybe one, two things about their works, but this one, it just makes me like. Don't get me wrong, conspiracy, nothing like that, but it just makes me think, like, it's kind of weird. Hmm. So, but besides that, I wanted to talk about is, I always hear, like collaborations from different legends and, people working along with each other. One thing that would have always loved to see is Akira Toriyama and Shigeru Miyamoto collaboration. That would have been amazing. Just imagine The Legend of Zelda, a anime movie, but with the Akira Toriyama art style. Because The Legend of Zelda had different art styles. You have Toon Link, you have the 2D games, and you have the 3D. You have different types of art styles. But imagine if like Shigeru Miyamoto and Akira Toriyama teamed up and just did like Super Mario or The Legend of Zelda with Akira Toriyama artwork. That would have been really cool and amazing. So yeah, because he's known to do collaboration. So does, and that's another thing. Like both men have worked with Square Enix. Whether it's Chrono Trigger or Super Mario RPG. Now, I love martial arts. I grew up watching the classic martial arts movies, and Akira Toriyama. He also loved watching those movies. Whether it's Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, and it's amazing. We got this as well. We have like Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee's amazing works, and then here we are in the anime world with Dragon Ball. You got it's just so wonderful. Don't get me wrong. I love Dragon Ball Z. I haven't watched Super, yet, like fully. You know what I mean? Like every episode. Of course I've seen it, but not every episode. But the original, just I don't know what it is. It's just in general, the original works of many creators, or like, it just hits so differently. And like I would say from what I've seen of, what was it? The many episodes of the recent Dragon Ball stuff, comparing that to the original, don't get me wrong, the recent stuff, it's cool. It's really amazing. You know what I mean? But I don't know the original, because a lot of people tend to just forget about the original works of creators and just move on to the more modern, more fresh, more, you know what I mean? And they don't really give. And I know people like this, so that's why I personally know how people think like this. Well, not all of them probably think even other stuff, but from the many people that I know that are like this, they say, "Oh, the art style, the year, and this and that," and in my opinion, number one, that's ridiculous. That's just my opinion. Just like they have deals. But also, I don't know. Like the original Dragon Ball is just such a charm. It's just like, yo, you know what I mean? Like the music, the art style, the stories, just the adventure is just in that final ending. It's just so good. You know what I mean? And Dragon Ball Z the same, and Dragon Ball Kai. You know, just all three of those are like perfection in my opinion. I just love it. And yeah, when it comes down to even, me, I traveled many times. I've been to different countries, and many times, I've seen postals advertising like current events for the community and everything like that. And many times they have like characters of Dragon Ball mixed with like Naruto and other shonen like characters in Super Mario and Goku advertising, maybe a restaurant and things like that. And it's wonderful. It just, I enjoyed that because it just like, you see a wonderful festival event going on. And at times you may even see like cosplayers and people in like full body costumes. Like it's great. You know what I mean? Really nice. That's just something that I wanted to share. Let me know if you've had that experience. They go into festivals and they advertise and you see people in those costumes. And I'm not talking about cosplaying. Like don't get me wrong, I've seen that too. But being in a costume and actual like say the face doesn't move at all. And so yeah, that's the difference. Cosplay is when you actually put details and all that. The other one you just buy something and then you put it on, or make something you put it on. So yeah, still cosplaying, but there's different um versions of league. So yeah, but those were like funny, those festivals. You just see somebody like they had Goku, Super Saiyan 1. It's just funny stuff. They would like do dances, and it would be a fun time. And yeah, man, really wonderful. When it comes down to his work, and you know what's interesting? What was it? Akira Toriyama. He he didn't. Well, he's a perfect example. I would say he's a perfect example of never give up. Like for example, he had planned to quit and give up manga, you know, after getting what was it? Because of what was it? He had like a work called Wonder Island 2 from 1978. You know, it was a flop, I believe. But his stubbornness, he didn't want to give up. He was like, you know what? I'm not just because it was a little fail. We went back a little bit. Don't give up. And then he kept going, and eventually, look what we got: Dr. Slump, Dragon Ball. We got wonderful characters such as, you know, like I said, Chrono from Chrono Trigger. Just many wonderful works. Well, the designs, but overall, I enjoy this. He's like one of those inspirational stories and backgrounds, and overall, I think that's really wonderful as a creator. You've done so much, you've touched so many hearts, and seeing the background, he also went through a lot, similar to his protagonist, and you know, he had that to really go grinding it out and prove himself, just like the protagonist within the creations that he is involved in or has created. And that's another thing that's really cool. Now, overall, I would say the last thing I want to talk about is, Akira Toriyama is a perfect example of if you truly want something, you will succeed if you work hard enough. And I love that. At the age of 23, after giving up, quitting his job, and submitting his work, you know, he didn't win, but he did on the Shogoken Manga Award for Best Shonen or Shoujo Anime Series of the Year in 1981 with Dr. Slump, and a anime series soon followed. So that's another reason, seeing that, hearing about that, it's really cool. Overall, I would say when it comes down to Akira Toriyama, his works will, I would say, there's specific works that's no matter how many years pass, for sure, like that could be like a work your great grandfather enjoyed, like say Astro Boy, right? Astro Boy will never be forgotten. Astro Boy is one of those animes and manga series that 100, 200 years could pass, you will always know who the hell Astro Boy is because he's such a legend. It's like, yo, we gotten to this point of, yo, you know who it is. And I think when it comes down to Dragon Ball, maybe some of his works might be a little bit underrated, I would say, in the future. Or very underrated. I don't see like, you know, um, but that's just like how some things tend to be. But Dragon Ball is one of those things that will always be like, yo, it's gonna be in the public eye. No matter what, Dragon Ball will always be beloved and seen as a top, just entertainment, loved, beloved, and yeah. Now, overall, I would say, yeah, yo, Akira Toriyama, he's the man. He is the dude. And, in 2024, Dragon Ball is celebrating its 40th anniversary, and Dragon Ball Daima is a canon Dragon Ball anime, and I know it will either be released just how Akira Toriyama wanted it to be, or maybe a mix between Akira Toriyama's work and someone else's work. Because maybe he wrote everything off and gave us exact ending of how he wants everything to end. I hear like a lot of creators do that. I might be wrong, but nah, I don't think. I was gonna say The Legend of Zelda and Super Mario with Shigeru Miyamoto, because Shigeru Miyamoto also talked about passing away and an interview and this and that and getting old. So that's some interesting. But yeah, when it comes down to Dragon Ball, I hope that he has written down an official ending because it would be cool. If he didn't, then I would say it's going to be still interesting. It could still work because that gives different like what ifs, like hey, like maybe Super Saiyan, say Goku's instinct form becomes like the god of his world or something like that. Maybe that's the way he wanted it to be, or maybe this or that. You know, overall, I think Akira Toriyama created so much wonderful things that left so much inspiration and different speculations, also and predictions, and that's another thing that is really wonderful about his work, and I appreciate. Now, overall, I would say, Akira Toriyama is definitely like the great grandfather of modern shonen anime, and just all of his works are fun and wonderful to go back and watch and play and etc. Overall, I would say, Akira Toriyama truly did touch the hearts of many, and I'm thankful to have grown up with many of his works and played many of his games that he was involved in. So overall, I would say Akira Toriyama, you're amazing, you're wonderful. Thank you so much for many of the works. So let me know in the comments. Have you ever watched Dr. Slump? Have you played Chrono Trigger? Are you a Dragon Ball fan? So with all that being that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, bye.